The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Super Media Bros.
Matches, including 0 Hour, arguably, and also in your opinion, which I heavily agree with, AEW's WrestleMania.
For me anyway, like I will admit, when it comes to like this show, I'm a mark. Like I admit it.
Welcome to episode 282 of the Super Media Bros podcast. I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
We're here to talk about AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2023. If WWE has WrestleMania and it's pretty much the Super Bowl of WWE, I would argue against like anybody saying differently. Like this is the WrestleMania for AEW in a lot of ways, even though I feel like the company itself would say that that's Double or Nothing or All Out.
I would say probably All Out. Both that and Double or Nothing always has the better booking. It's more story based. Whereas this is just dream matches for the sake of dream matches. But fuck it, I was a dreamer as a kid. Like I eat this shit up.
Right, and it's pretty much if you just did Smash Bros, but wrestling. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and you can nitpick it all you want, you know, and I completely understand it. I mean, we as wrestling fans are probably the most cynical fucking people and most nitpicky, but I enjoy both companies so much, so to see them cross over, I'm gonna have a good time. Like, I don't care.
This was nothing but a good time, in my opinion, dude. And even, you know, I said this before we went on air, I didn't really want to talk too much about 0 Hour because, you know, comparatively to the main card, it didn't feel like anything to write home about, but I guess it is worth it to cover, like, just, you know, not in depth, but to talk about the fact, first of all, that Adam Cole was sick and could not compete on this pay-per-view, like, legitimately. And it was supposed to be him and Tom Lawler, and Tom Lawler kind of got fucked. Like, they relegated him to a dark match against Serpentico in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Didn't even air.
Have they mentioned anything about what Adam had? Because now Britt's gone.
I would assume it's COVID.
That's still around, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's around. It's just, you know.
I just haven't heard the name in months.
They're probably trying to not even mention it anymore, honestly. But, like, he got sick. And that match got dropped completely off the card. But we kick off 0 Hour with Mogul Embassy versus Chaos. Now, I just kind of feel like, okay, it's Swerve. What are you guys doing with Swerve Strickland? What the fuck is going on? Like, Brian Cage just kind of like, you know what? Throw him with Swerve. Make him his heavy and make him in like this fucking whole group. This group does nothing for me. I'm sorry.
And it's sad because like, I love the merch for them. Don't ask me why. I just look at him like that looks sick. But I think because I'm gauging it off of the idea of like, okay, let's look at the Bullet Club shirts, for example, or the Austin 316, or even Hulkamania, you know, given those time periods and whatnot, an average non-wrestling fan could look at those shirts and be like, oh, that looks like a cool shirt. But I kind of look at that as Swerve's little thing going on.
Sure.
Their merch looks like something that honestly, any one of my friends would buy just because they thought it looked cool.
He kind of has like he's going for that designer kind of thing.
Exactly. Like genuinely, it looks like something you would wear to like an actual club.
I can see that.
Maybe I'm showing my age there because that's what my generation would totally roll up in.
That roll up and Swerve Strickland's merch into a club.
Yeah, like roll up with that on a hoodie and like some fucking designer jeans. I could totally see any one of my buddies doing it.
Oh god, that's fucking great.
But either way, Swerve himself is absurdly talented. Brian Cage, he's talented, but my brother in Christ, you've been around the block for 20 fucking years, it seems like. You still haven't, you know. I think that experiment is done. He had a nice run in the beginning stages of AEW, but got outshined really quickly.
Yeah, I think they kind of found out what he was made of after that, you know. On the other end, they beat Chaos, by the way. Well, now, here's the thing. I understand that Chaos is a New Japan stable, and that Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta are absolutely a part of that because Trent Beretta's connection with Rocky Romero being Roppongi Vice.
Correct.
But, dude, the best friends seem like they're in 50 fucking stables because they come out in separate teams and droves, and it's like, are you Chaos? Are you Roppongi Vice? Are you best friends? What if Roppongi Vice and best friends team up? Are you Chaos now? Okay, you're Chaos, but like, what? Like, okay. 12 minutes, 30 seconds, Mogul Embassy picks up the win. It was a pretty good match, and we'll move on to Athena versus Billy Starks in the first round of the Women's Owen Hart Cup.
Congratulations to Billy Starks for graduating high school. A kid is only 18.
Dude, and she's good already. Like, she's getting there. Like, she is appearing in both AEW and Ring of Honor promotion, which obviously, like, when you're with one of the companies, you're going to cross over.
Right. Good for her, by the way.
Absolutely. And being in the ring with Athena is no small feat because let's not, discredit Athena for being, she's the fucking Ring of Honor women's champion right now.
On like, 48 win streak or something like that?
Some of them aren't even counting right now for whatever fucking reason. I think they're only counting the wins on that streak in Ring of Honor. Yeah, so yeah. Okay. But I figured Athena was going to advance in this one. It's sad because like these matches, I kind of like knew who was going to win going in just looking at it. The next match, I didn't even know was happening. El Phantasmo and Stu Grayson. And this is the reason I was like, what the fuck? Because when Stu Grayson came out, I was like, who the fuck is he? Who's he with? Who the fuck is he with? I couldn't tell you who he's with. I just know that I missed where he turned his back on Dark Order.
Yeah, did that happen on Dark? Or
Dark does not exist anymore.
I know that.
That's the point. Dark doesn't exist anymore. So where the fuck is this story taking place? Are they just like, people may still watch the YouTube channel if we put exclusive content up?
Probably, because I'll be honest with you, I'm a diehard, but I don't watch Rampage anymore.
Dude, and the only reason I don't watch Rampage is because it's taped.
I don't care if it's taped. I care that it's nothing but it's filler to filler.
That's the point. But Rampage, even more so now, is going to become the developmental show.
Yeah, which they do need. So I'm more than okay with that. It's just like, if any storyline develops on Rampage, I
ain't seen it.
Yeah, like, which they advertise it, they treat it as a show, so that is on us. But also, it's like, make it more compelling.
Not just that, but Rampage gets moved around time slot wise so much I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, and it's a shame because look at the original episode, how full of AEW history it was, or CM Punk's return, Yuta joining the BCC, like Cody and Sammy on Christmas Day. Like there's quite a bit of history in that program, but I don't know.
Yep.
They dropped the ball.
Yep. El Phantasmo picked up the victory in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Moving on to Shingo Takagi, Bushi, and Takahashi versus United Empire. Fucking United Empire lost this match.
Yeah, I mean, Ospreay won later, so
yeah, I guess that picks up.
We'll get to that match.
So now we open the actual pay-per-view right out of the gate. I got to talk about something that happens after this match on social media, which fucking made me cackle.
Oh, I know.
MJF versus Tanahashi, dude. It was a good match, but like that's not even the point. 50 minutes and 30 seconds. He obviously retains. This motherfucker, he preloaded a tweet that came out when the match was still happening, and he was just like, preloaded this tweet because I've already beaten this asshole by now, and the match is still happening.
Yeah.
And then he fucking videos himself leaving the arena. He's like, yep, beat your boy. No surprise there. What did he say? Oh, I gotta find it. Hold on. I gotta find this audio. It's so fucking great.
And just like that, I'm out of here. Beat your boy, the legend Tanahashi. Real shocked. On my way to my flight. Deuces.
It's the way he says it, man.
No, dude. He just deuces.
Dude, I fucking love him. Really good match. Mostly thanks to Max. And this is no slight. Tanahashi he really truly is a legend. He had been their John Cena for the longest fucking time, Unfortunately, now he's moving like Hulk Hogan because he look at all the years he's put in. Look at the style of wrestling that he chose. Like, fuck, man. I mean, it's hard to watch personally, but I mean, you can't do that forever.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio is an enigma, but he's also like 18,000 knee surgeries in. He's practically brand new.
So MJF retains, and then we move on to CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima in the men's Owen Hart Cup first round match. This was solid as fuck.
Loved it.
I did too. And it was not match of the night by any means. Like, that obviously goes elsewhere. But I love the fact that Punk is the type of guy that will not lean into what he is supposed to be. He's booked as a babyface. He still acted like a babyface after the match to Kojima, but was absolutely like soft healing it up in the ring at times, and I adored it. I fucking loved it because he was getting booed out of the goddamn building.
His heel work never felt like heel work. It felt like, no, I'm just a troll. I'm a dick.
Punk is good at being a dastardly heel, and he's also really good at being a cowardly shit heel when the time calls for it. Look at his feud with Big Show when he was in the Straight Edge Society.
Yeah.
And you know what I love the most about Punk? And I don't know if I can explain this properly because it's just how my brain works. That man built different in a way, psychology-wise. He's built different.
Really is, yeah.
Because I love the fact that when you get Phil Brooks going off script, you're just like, fuck. He's going to like set the entire room on fire, just speaking. Get him like in character in the ring, you know, in a situation. I love the way he plays to the crowd. He does like, he over exaggerates his go to sleep, like taunt, like when he's like fucking putting his hands to his face. Like he's very animated.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the guys are very animated, but there's something different about his character work. And when he's in that zone, he feels like a very vintage, like 80s pro wrestler.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up is you look at the mannerisms of a lot of guys today, and they don't understand, in my opinion, why people like Hogan or Warrior or Savage, like why all of them were so animated. They weren't doing it to portray like a live action cartoon character. That helped, sure, but a lot of what they were doing, like whenever Hogan would point so aggressively at his opponents, he was doing that so that people even in the nosebleeds can visually make out what you're doing.
Thank you. And I know exactly that's what Punk does.
Yeah.
And it's not even for Hogan's sake. Him and FTR and a lot of other fucking people in wrestling are fucking heart guys. Not coming from the dungeon, but they based a lot of what they do on what Brett and Owen fucking did.
Exactly, yeah. And it shows. I fucking died laughing whenever he was doing the pec thing, because it's not just the fact that Punk was doing like the pec pump, but it's the fact that he was standing so stiffly. I fucking died. And then he just slowly circled around to show everybody in the crowd. It's the way he was standing. I was like, why my man built like that?
Because he's funny as shit, though, when he's doing it. But I was laughing my ass off when he was just doing the callback to that goddamn shoot interview with Joe. Lariat! Kojima! What a dick, but I love that he fucking does that shit.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know why, but you know what I'm talking about, because we both have that weird sense of humor where it's like, we remember the dumbest
shit.
Yeah, and it's like, nobody else knows what you're talking about. Why do you remember this, and why is it so funny to you?
Because it just fucking is.
Yeah, and so whenever he did that, I was like, holy shit. Fuck. Dude, because there's some moments where, like, I'll think of, like, Iron Man 2, okay? And they're just, everybody will bring up, like, oh, yeah, you know, Rhodey getting the new casting, or the introduction to the War Machine, or whatever the fuck, and I'm just like, I want my bird.
Fuck yeah, that's my favorite shit from Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that's my takeaway of the movie. I want my bird.
I want my bird. CM Punk wins and advances to the quarterfinal match. the 4-way for the AEW International Championship. Now, I was kind of hoping for a title change here, but if you're going to keep it on anybody, Cassidy's your guy. He is having a hell of a run with this championship, dude.
He's phenomenal.
I didn't expect this lengthy run with him.
I'm glad we're getting it.
Me too.
And I'm glad that it is being put on the show. What Pac did was amazing. I loved that. I loved that it was a traveling title. I loved that they showed highlights of it every week at whatever company he was at. But I love having an at-home champion.
This is the workhorse belt.
I was about to say it. To me, this is taking the place of the TNT title. Sorry, but I don't care about that thing anymore.
I don't either.
But this was phenomenal. Great job to OC. Bit of a prediction.
Yeah, I loved that Sabre Jr. and Shibata had a great fucking showing with Garcia in this.
Yeah.
Those 4 guys, I would watch them all fucking day long.
But hear me out on my prediction, okay? I think they're saving it for your boy, Takashita, at Wembley.
Ooh. That would be fucking sweet.
That man needs a fucking strap.
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking 1980s, like, gang lord. Like, with the leather trench coat jacket thing with the collar. At first, I was like, I don't know how he's going to fit, blah, blah, blah. In ring-wise, yeah, but I don't know how he's going to look with the rest of the gang.
I love that you call him Takashita. That's so fucking funny to me. It's Ralph. It's Ralph all over again.
Yeah, Takashita.
Konosuke
Takashita.
I know.
I got to Americanize it a little bit for all the redheads. Anyway.
I love that he's just kind of like hanging with the Blackpool Combat Club, but he's not in the Blackpool Combat Club. He's just kind of there.
You know what, though? Even though I think he's supremely talented, and I'm sure backstage there's a lot of chemistry, to me it's Yuta that kind of sticks out more than Konosuke, just because, like, you just don't look like you fit the bill the same way. Even though in-ring wise he absolutely does. And in the storyline, Bryan always calling him a little shit and all that stuff, it works. God, I hate saying this. But it feels like he's only still there because that team has to have the fall guy to look beatable.
Yeah, they have to relegate him to the guy that takes the pinfalls, which he took the pinfall loss.
Yeah.
Which we'll get, I was going to say, we'll get to in a second. But like Orange Cassidy retains in 11 minutes and 15 seconds.
Great match.
Oh, fuck yeah, it was a great match. And this next match coming up, you definitely called what was happening, but I honestly wasn't expecting it here.
Mm.
In fact, I was kind of expecting the opposite to happen here. This is Sonata versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, contested with New Japan rules, and it was a 10-minute and 45-second match. Solid.
Yeah.
The story isn't that Sonata retained, which we knew was going to happen, but the story here is that Jack Perry, in his loss, gets pissed off and turns on Hook at the entrance ramp going back. And it's like, bro, you really want to be fucking with Hook, first of all? Secondly, the way he picked up that fucking FTW belt, like he just lost the IWGP Heavyweight Championship opportunity. But he's like, I guess I'm good enough to win this now.
Yeah, the title that at the very next program he buried as being a non-recognized title. So
I need to say this.
Mm-hmm.
You said this last week.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Perry comes out on Dynamite after this loss and cuts the most cringy fucking promo I have ever heard in this company. The dude legitimately made a fucking Canadian wildfire joke as a diss to the crowd to no response. Dude, when you're a heel, you're supposed to do that shit. I'm not saying like, ooh, he crossed the line. He's a heel. He's supposed to do this shit.
Right.
But when you get no heat, when you get nothing, bro, the dude was falling back on that and fucking Anna Jay. Like, he literally was like, I'm banging the hottest bitch in this company.
No lies detected.
No, but bro, you see how well that's working out for Sammy right now? You may not want to fucking do that.
To me, I just feel like he's
about to get go away heat, dude, and it's not good. It's not good because the only reaction that happened was when Hook came out. And Hook is way more over than he is, and Hook doesn't have to say fuck all.
The thing is like, for one, you're one of the pillars. You need to step it up. But also, as bad as it was, he did seem more comfortable. But also, he seemed more lost in terms of like, he was more lost as a babyface because he didn't know what to do to get over. But
who is Jack Perry?
Exactly.
Who the fuck is he? That's what I want to know.
Right. Because you spent the last 3 years jumping around in a loincloth and everything, and now you're basically trying to be Hollywood Rock, which, great, that you can. I have no doubt that somewhere he can tap into that.
Right. Another thing I want to point out, I feel like heel Jurassic Express is on the horizon.
Probably.
Because, first of all, the motherfucker dressed like Christian dresses.
Mm.
Same jacket, same everything. The dude wore red and black gear on the pay-per-view. Luchasaurus had the exact same color scheme going for him when he won the TNT belt. Don't call it Jurassic Express.
No. I feel like, though, what my point was like, he felt more lost as a babyface, but he at least understood the psychology behind it. Whereas here, as a heel, at one point, one of two things happened. My man's either did not know where he was, and whenever he said Toronto, he actually thought that he was in Toronto, or, and this is what I actually believe it was, he did that as a diss to the city that they were in. But whenever the crowd did start booing him, he was expressionless, just kept the same like monotone face. In that time, if MJF did the same thing, he would start smacking his gum. He would do a shit-eating grin. He would kind of do like a cup to the ear. He would, something to be like, egging it on.
Mm-hmm.
Jack comes off like he doesn't know what he said.
He did jack shit is what he did.
Yeah, and like I said, I'd like, the dude has to rent a car. He knows what city he's in. So I don't think that's the case. I think like, I just don't think he knows what to do.
Yeah. Maybe he'll find his footing. I'm not trying to shit on him like, fuck Jack Perry. This is me being like, dude, there's something there. Please find it.
Right. And that's why I brought up like what MJF would do in this scenario. It's not to say MJF is just better than you and you know it. And that's all there is to it. No. It's just, look at what he would do and try and mold that into your character if it fits.
Yep.
Which Hollywood Jack Perry versus suave MJF, there's some similarities there. You can cherry pick different mannerisms and concepts.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about the last half of the card. You're listening to the Super Media Bros on the Odd Pods Media Network. Don't go anywhere.
I got to piss like a fucking racehorse.
I said don't go anywhere.
I work for a goddamn union job. You're not going to tell me when I can't piss.
He's right. This is an Amazon.
Hey, you there. We've got a question for you. Are you tired of clickbait stories and the loudest voices driving discussions in culture and entertainment?
If so, I'm Dylan.
I'm Kendall.
And I'm Corey. And we host the podcast From the Middle. We're middle-class guys living in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with points of view somewhere in the middle.
We take a more reasonable and centrist approach in our discussions covering genres like comedy, culture, entertainment, and interviews with really interesting folks like business owners, comic creators, doctors, news anchors, New York Times best-selling illustrators, professional stand-up comics, and more. We really value a relaxed and conversational podcast, one that we hope is so fun and laid back, you'll forget you're not actually hanging out with us.
So search at From the Mid Pod, just like it sounds, or check us out everywhere you can find podcasts.
let's get in the back half of this pay-per-view. So the 10-man tag team match between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club, 21 minutes, 25 seconds, where the Elite goes over. I was not expecting them to go over. I was really hoping that BCC would get the win and then still keep, because following up on Dynamite, kicking the shit out of them and challenging them to blood and guts, which I knew that's what it was leading to.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting story with Adam Page and the Dark Order, though. I'm kind of like, bro, the Dark Order becoming a fucking trio after having 12 members at one point is wow.
It's kind of, and it all kind of happened under our noses, so I'm just kind of like,
A fire-ass match, don't get me wrong.
Yes, yes.
Which I love that it was Eddie and Tomohiro Ishii that wrestled alongside the Elite.
Make me happy, make me smile.
Right, and then Shota Umino and Takeshita.
Shooter
McGavin? All right, fuck yeah. So, the high spots in this match were really good. And, you know, it was nice to not have a fucking, like, arena brawl for once. This is a match that Moxley didn't bleed in for once.
Which was insane to me, but
He fucking bled on Dynamite, so.
Yeah. Which, by the way, that was a blast to watch. I loved that match.
Fuck yeah. So the story here is obviously Eddie Kingston is that him and Moxley are kind of having a thing because Kingston is pissed that a close friend of his is lining himself with Claudio Castagnoli, who he infamously cannot stand, going all the way back to Ring of Honor days.
I just love Eddie Kingston. I love everything that he touches, dude.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and I fucking mean it wholeheartedly. This is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not doing dick all with him, and it pisses me off. That man elicits a very passionate response from the fans every time he shows up, and it doesn't matter what he does. The people love him, and Tony's not doing shit with him.
I don't know why. You know what? I do know why. Or I don't know, but I think it's his own anxiety and personal demons. I think Tony has probably come up to him and said, "Hey, do you want to do this?" No, I'm not in a good state right now, but ask me again in 6 months.
Right.
I don't know that for a fact, but Eddie definitely gives me that vibe that he does want it and he's determined for it, but every time he gets that proposition,
they need to put the Ring of Honor title on him. Yeah,
I would love that.
He needs to be the one that takes it off of Claudio.
I would love that so much.
Fucking same. He needs to be. That is what I call long-term storytelling there. But the story here is that the Elite have gone over, then they got their asses handed to them on Dynamite, and now the next step is blood and guts. So moving on to the AEW Women's World Championship match with Toni Storm and Willow Nightingale. Fucking solid match, dude.
It really was, yeah. Willow is the girl you need to be pushing right now. She gets a massive pop every time. She does great work. She's got
the it factor, bro.
She really does, because you look at her and it's like, okay, I get it here. This is what WWE wanted. What was her name? Rock's cousin.
You mean my hole?
Yeah. My hole.
Nia Jax.
Nia, yeah. Willow is what WWE wanted Nia to be.
The only thing I will ever remember her for is my hole.
Yeah.
That is it. I swear on everything.
And Randy Orton fucking folding her stupid ass in the Royal Rumble.
And her injuring everybody she got involved with.
Yeah.
Toni Storm whooped that ass with her ass. Dump truck. To win in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'm just going to say it right here. Moving on to the match of the fucking night. No questions asked. I don't give a fuck. I could have watched this match only and gotten my money's worth. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. 39 minutes, 45 seconds. Holy fucking shit. Match of the year contender?
I think so.
Match of the year, as far as AEW's shit goes, this and the Iron Man match with MJF and Danielson, dude. Like, these two matches were fucking fantastic.
It's the same calendar year. Dude, I don't know. Like, what is going to be match of the year? Fuck.
This one has got to be for a multitude of reasons, bro.
Okay.
Look, Ospreay going over was the right call here.
Yes.
The physicality of this match was unparalleled on the rest of this card. I got to say something here. Everybody on the internet was in an uproar over that fucking Tiger Driver 91.
Okay.
I will tell you this right now. That is exactly how that move is supposed to be taken. It is fucking dangerous for a reason. I trust as much as shit could go wrong. If anybody's going to pull this move off, these two can do it and make it look devastating like that. Yes, there have been broken necks from this move. From the camera angle, it looks like he lands on his neck. Omega took that shit on his right shoulder.
Mm-hmm. No, and we were all watching it on live, you know.
I cringed when it happened.
We all did. We were like, it felt like the whole room just froze and time just stopped. But then, like, Ospreay kept hitting him, and we were like, no. Let him cook.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they thought for sure Kenny was fucked, this shit would have been stopped.
Yep.
Or at the very least, cameras would have been on anything else.
Yeah, dude. The physicality in this match is what puts this over for me.
And you know what? The fact that we did all cringe and or believe that it was real, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You want that.
Yeah. I really was like, fuck, whenever Kenny was taking the headers into the table and shit. Because he did that to Ospreay. He did it to Ospreay in fucking New Japan through a wood table. So he got it kind of easy comparatively speaking. But
speaking of all of this, though, Kenny coming out to his Devil's Cry. Dude.
Yeah, I was excited about that. Anytime he wrestles with that belt, even in America, like he comes out to that theme. So I was excited.
It just makes me so happy.
Yeah, me too, man. And Will Ospreay, and they said it best on commentary. Will Ospreay was pretty much there to fill the shoes of Omega when he fucking left New Japan. And dare I say, he's doing a fantastic job. Ospreay is fucking amazing. I love the dude's work. He's hella over as a talent to me.
Yeah. My man's is 30 years old. I want you to think about this, okay? Because I read this earlier today. He is 30 years old. He has more 5+ star matches in history.
This was a 6-star match.
Yeah. And I know it's the cool thing to like shit on Dave Meltzer's thing. And we give Meltzer some shit too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not backpedaling on that, but it's just kind of like, whether you want to go by the star rating or not, it's like, my man's is consistently putting out like classic match after classic match. Like, he is in that list, as far as I'm concerned, of best in the world right now. Where do you think he'll be whenever he's retired?
Oh my God.
Are we talking in terms of technical? I'm not talking like superstardom, like anything like that, but are we talking Rushmore?
Ospreay is 100% a modern day Rushmore person for me.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going crazy.
And
here.
this isn't just me sitting here being like, it's only AEW guys or it's only NJPW guys. But I swear on everything right now, for like 3 of my guys, Ospreay, Omega, and Danielson are up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck. Like there is a 4th fucking spot. And that alternates all the time.
It does.
And I'll tell you, the 3 that I just mentioned, good luck solidifying that 4th spot with these 3 because these motherfuckers are just, you cannot fuck with them. You cannot fuck with their shit in the ring. Like Omega is just a literal fucking machine. That is not even just a goddamn catchphrase for his ring name. He literally lives up to the best bout machine tagline. Yeah. I marked the fuck out when he did the kick out at 1 on his own finishing move when he took it.
Shit fucking got me exploding.
I leapt off on my couch.
At the rubber match, do you think Ospreay fucking kicks out?
He deserves to.
I think so too.
For those of you listening that don't know, that are just kind of getting into this, being like, oh, what is this? Kenny Omega's finishing move, the One-Winged Angel, has never been a move that anybody has kicked out of in the entire time that he's used it.
Except for Ibushi, but even then, like, from what I'm understanding, that match is not canon.
No.
I don't know how a pro wrestling match that has been filmed isn't canon. I don't understand it, but layman's terms here, it's not canon. That's an Elseworld story. Don't think into it.
Yep.
What a fucking match.
I could do this entire episode on this match, but we would literally be here longer than this episode's going to run.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ospreay captures the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship in 39 minutes and 45 seconds. Once again, goddamn.
Wonderful.
Moving on to the final two matches, the 6-man tag team match, which I feel like the fact that this match went on second to last, and I'm not saying none of the matches here were bad. None of them were bad at all. I understand why they staggered the matches the way they did it.
Mm-hmm.
This was the match. If you're going to have a match like to buffer between your two co-main events, this is the one.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because normally this would be labeled the piss break match. However, Tetsuya Naito teaming with Darby and Sting, going against fucking Jericho Guevara and Minoru Suzuki. Come on now. The Sting and Jericho drama has done it enough. The fact that they have never wrestled each other like one-on-one in the fucking 30 years that
weird.
Dude, like why? Like how?
Nobody ever thought to pair them up? Like, you're 11 years older than me, so you've been on like the dirt sheets 11 years longer than I have. Was there ever a program that you can recall that was set in motion, but somebody got injured or anything?
Nope. And I believe what it boils down to, and this is the truth, by the time Jericho was out of WCW and into the WWF, that's when the height of like Sting's popularity was peaking.
Okay.
They have not been in the same company with each other long enough at the statures that each person is at to warrant them wrestling each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is literally all it boiled down to. The 2 years that Sting was in the WWE, Jericho, I don't believe he was.
Yeah, he was doing like
touring and shit, concerts.
Touring and probably Dancing with the Stars, but you could fact check me on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, I heard that factoid and I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we wound up getting Sting, Darby, and Tetsuya going over. It's a short match, like 15 minutes long. But the other story going into Dynamite is that we wound up getting at the press junket, Jericho calling out Darby and Sting for more, another match. And it wound up being like the Painmaker, Jericho, and Guevara wrestling Sting and Darby Allin. Sting fucking dove off of a goddamn ladder to the outside of the ring onto Guevara through some tables, and
one table.
I know, I was getting there. He made it through one, and the other table took a tooth and busted his lip open. Like Sting, my man, has like half a tooth missing and has got he needs stitches in his lip from that.
He's fucking
shit.
Lucky. That's all it is.
He don't give a fuck anymore, though. That man has done said he's going out. Like this is his final run. He's trying to make it count. But dude, he scared the fuck out of me because I was like, you saw how far away those tables were.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe he made it.
I know. As soon as he landed, though, I was like, he hit his head. I can't tell if it's the crown or the mouth or what, but he hit his head.
Mm-hmm.
And my first thought is, and the camera is off of him for an extended period of... Okay, Sting is dead. Okay. Well.
And then they cut back, and that motherfucker's in there finishing the match and winning it, and then giving a goddamn post-show speech to the crowd.
He's a fucking animal. Darby is such a bad influence, but this man is a fucking unit.
I love it so much, though, because it feels like Darby like brought that like youthfulness out of him again.
Yeah. I just love the idea where Sting was probably like, listen, man, save these big spots for pay-per-views, Get the crowd on you at the big events, this is just TV. And he goes, yeah, but it's cool. And then Sting is just like, I'm not going to win this. No.
So you're right.
But do you want to try it? He's like, yeah, I'll try it.
That's fucking great. Sting's like, yeah, just save it, man. Darby. Yeah, but it's cool, though. I bet.
It scared me to death because, like, I don't know if I ever told you this. Sting is, like, the first wrestling memory that I have.
I'll tell you right now, dude, for 62.
It's fuck.
Sting coming out and just doing all this shit. Sting was always cool.
Yeah.
Sting hasn't been this cool in 20 years.
It's fucking wild. How WWE fucked that up, I don't understand.
Who knows? But the story is advancing a little further, and the story here is that Darby is trying to convince Sammy to be better than just being with Jericho, because it's kind of like two pillars right there. Just like, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass if you're on the other side of me, but I believe that you're better than this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sammy's like very conflicted, so we'll see where that goes. But getting into the main event, which is Bryan Danielson versus Okada in a fucking 27-minute match. Now, I feel like Ospreay and Omega should have main evented this show, but I understand now why Danielson and Okada main evented. Tony Khan dropped I don't even know what the number is, but supposedly it's a very absurd amount on the Final Countdown by Europe, which that was Bryan Danielson's Ring of Honor entrance theme for a number of years. Danielson himself said he hadn't listened to the song in about a decade and didn't even know that the song had been purchased and was going to be played for him coming to the ring.
That's cool as shit.
When I heard the fucking synthesizers kick in, I was like, they fucking didn't. It was a one-night thing, but still, it was so fucking worth it. I had wanted Okada to win this initially because I'm like, we need to send a New Japan guy home, like, winning to close the show. However, that guy was Will Ospreay. Bryan Danielson, in the words of Kurt Angle, legitimately got put over in this match with a broken freaking arm.
Because he finished the match with an arm that fucked?
For 10 minutes, mind you. Like, he broke his arm with 10 minutes left in their match.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, yeah, you can win this. It's okay. You've earned it.
The story coming from this particular win is that he fucking tapped Okada. Okada hasn't been tapped out in fucking years. And it's been a long fucking time. To me, was the equivalent of Bret Hart submitting. Because Okada doesn't fucking quit.
No. And what's scary is that, granted, broken arm, but this isn't even the best they could have done.
That's what fucking kills me. I know
and
for
it was
a goddamn
still
fact. It was
incredible.
Yes. A one-armed Bryan Danielson still put a fucking 4.75 star match on.
It's fucking insane. That man, bruh.
Mount Rushmore. I'm telling you, dude.
Oh, dude. You notice I didn't argue.
I know that.
Like,
dare I say Okada is the fourth guy on that fucker?
You could absolutely say that. Yeah. I mean, fuck, dude. Now, in the future, I think you can put, God, I mean, we're going to see, dude.
I know.
I
already know. I'm still not budging on Omega being up there with Ospreay for sure, like right now, of the current shit. The fact that Omega, Ospreay, Danielson, and Okada got the longest time.
As they should.
Their two matches combined were over an hour.
And to be quite honest, like, this could have been a 2-match show, and I would have been happy.
Oh, dude, I would have happily still spent the $50 on this pay-per-view. My God.
That's how you know you did good.
Yeah.
And I feel like whenever everybody is, like, raving about match of the night, possibly match of the year, being Ospreay and Omega, so much of the shine is taken away from Okada and Bryan, but that's not to say poo-poo on this match. Like, it was fucking unreal. So good. It was a technical force. Like, this is like, I loved it. I will say, though, if I had a nitpick, excluding the broken arm situation, because that's nobody's really at fault there. You got hurt. Like, I'm not taking points away from what you did or didn't do. I just wasn't crazy about the ending. I felt like it was a very realistic ending. He held him in place for a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah.
So it felt real. And I much rather that as opposed to, quick, put him in the... You know, like, I cannot stand immediate tap outs. I think it's fucking stupid, hokey, and it makes the shit look fake. But also, at the same point, I think they overcooked it a little bit. It felt a little like I said earlier, anticlimactic. It felt a little slow.
I think, and here's my hot take on that one.
Okay.
This kind of goes back to the conversation I think we had last week about or it may have been last week or the week before about you viewing like the tap out as like a bitch move.
Yeah.
Here's my retort to that.
Okay.
So where you see it as like it cooked a little too long, I was seeing it as like, okay, it was a shocking ending.
Yes.
Because typically babyface getting held in a move that long is going to eventually reach the ropes. He's never going to quit. But the fact that he tapped and he hadn't in fucking ages, that's the story. That's what's getting put over, is the fact that of all the people that did it, it's fucking Danielson, dude.
I think like what would have sold it on me personally a little bit better is if they somehow creatively figure out a way to like roll over and put Bryan on his shoulders, and then he rolls over again and puts him back in. They do that a couple of times, and then finally Okada's like, no matter what I do, I'm fucked. I gotta tap. That's a personal thing. Like, I'm not reading anybody else saying that, so it absolutely is just me. I'm just going based off of personal preference here.
Right. I could see that, but I think the ending that did happen was booked the way it needed to be. I think it was supposed to take us all by surprise. I think like what is considered like maybe it's flat or maybe it's a little lackluster. I don't think so at all. I think I think that was the intention, where it's like oh fuck, because you got to kind of give some matches that possibility of like realistic ending,
right?
Where it's like you pay for a UFC pay-per-view or any kind of like company that does MMA. Most often, any kind of immediate tap isn't like, oh, it's hokey, it's an immediate tap. Even if it was booked in a wrestling match that way, defensively speaking, you want to live to fight another day.
Yeah, I know.
I get where you're coming from. I see you.
Yeah, it's one of those nitpicks that we all have in wrestling where, some people it's whenever it's a ladder match and they still have like 5 steps and they're already reaching. Like some people that irks on their fucking nerves. Mine is the immediate tap. I don't like it.
Yeah, I get you. This has been the best pay-per-view all year.
Oh yeah, like this.
Like legit, top to bottom, card wise, match quality wise,
wonderful.
Yeah, dude, fuck.
I loved it.
Oh, I did too. And this is why I sit here and I'm like, $50, pretty fucking worth it to me, honestly.
Oh yeah, like in the moment, whenever you're buying it, you're like, oh god.
You're kind of taking a chance when you're buying this shit, dude.
I know.
What if some poor son of a bitch drove all the way to an airport across the country, flew to this arena, spent all this money, hotel, a few nights. He bought tickets to Dynamite 2. Man, I paid all this money to see Adam Cole, baby, wrestle, and he fucking didn't. Like, bruh. Imagine being like, that guy. That's why I'm like, $50 ain't too bad.
No,
you know what I'm
all.
saying, dude? Imagine being that fucking guy. Cannot wait to see what Forbidden Door 2024 looks like. I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to be on next year's card.
Absolutely.
Who's not going to be on next year's card?
Adam Cole. He's cursed on this show.
He really is cursed. It really is a forbidden door to him. He can't go through it. Poor fucking guy, I swear.
If he does show up, he's going to get hurt. Like, and I love Adam Cole. It's just like, God damn, my boy.
So come back next week. We're going to talk about AEW Fight Forever, goddammit. It just came out. We have had our casual and hardcore gaming selves like reinvigorated. Can't wait to talk about this shit. There's a load of nostalgia for me and a load of new shit for this guy over here. And I am fucking just salivating at wanting to just get into this because I know if we did it now, we'd be here another fucking 2 hours.
I know.
So come hang out with us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a while since we've had like a gaming heavy episode.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a fucking blast and a half. Like complete, like we always go off the cuff on here, but goddamn, this is even more so off the cuff.
It's just us BSing.
That's it, dude. Visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes. Check out all the other shows on the Odd Pods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on social media. Buy a motherfucking t-shirt at our merchandise store. It is the last opportunity to get the Super Media Bros Brothermania t-shirt inspired by Hulkamania. At the end of August, it's gone, baby. So get that shit while it lasts.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Devin.
Yeah.
Do you know where you can get that t-shirt?
Yeah.
It's in the link below. Go scroll up to the show notes and click Super Media Bros merch store. Yeah.
Yeah.
We may or may not talk about Money in the Bank just a smidgen next week, just because I know that shit's happening and I know we're going to be like, hey, so did you see it fucking... Did you see this happen? I know it's going to creep its way into conversation.
Yeah, it'll be probably not going to do a whole episode.
No,
on it,
fuck
but
no.
Like, we'll casually bring it up.
Yeah, we'll mention it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this week. This has been AEW New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door 2023. Until next time, I'm Richie.
I'm Devin.
Shades on.
We're off.